Hello, third graders. Today we're just going to take a second to review some of the critical vocabulary that we have learned so far this year. So first we have the word genuine. And remember, if something is genuine, it's real and exactly what it seems to be. So our sentence says, experts say the dinosaur fossil is genuine, so it will be displayed at the museum. Next we had the word saga. So remember that the word saga is a long, detailed story about heroic events. And our sentence says this saga tells the story of brave soldiers in ancient times. Next, we had the word coiled. So when I think about coiled, I think about a rope or a snake. So if you coiled something, you shaped it into loops or rings. So I coiled the jump rope neatly and put it in the box. Next, we had the word whirled. If something whirled, it spun and turned very quickly. Our sentence says, as the carnival ride whirled faster and faster, I started to feel dizzy. And number 5, tame. If you tame a wild animal, you teach it to do what you want. Our sentence says, animal experts say you can never truly tame a wolf. Okay, so take a second, and if you have someone there with you, or you can do this on your own, I want you to maybe call out the word. So maybe call out genuine, and then cover up the definition and see if you can remember the definitions of these words. Hey, third graders, now I want to shift gears. I want us to think a little bit about author's craft. Okay, so we know that a craft is a job or activity that requires certain skills and ability. Okay, so for an author, those skills and abilities involve using words in a way that make writing more interesting and to help you communicate your ideas clearly. Okay, so let's take a look at the meaning or the definition of an author's craft. It says author's craft is the language and technique a writer uses to make his or her writing interesting or communicate ideas to the reader. So why do you think they call it a craft? Why would this be called a writer's craft? Okay, I agree with you. Usually a craft is something that you are good at. It's something that you specialize in. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these techniques that are author's crafts. So first we have voice. So what is it? The voice is the author's writing style that makes his or her writing unique. So for example, a writer uses certain words to show his or her style. An author's voice may change depending on the genre of the text. Next we have the technique of tone. The tone is the author's feelings towards a subject. For example, a writer uses certain words to show his or her attitude. Words can be positive, negative, or just neutral. Next, we have the technique of mood. So the mood is the emotions and feelings of the reader while you're reading the text. So we know that the author helps to set the mood. For example, mystery is suspense or surprise. If the author is setting the mood of fantasy, he's creating wonder and excitement. Or an article would be creating the mood of serious and thoughtfulness. Next, we have the technique of word choice. With word choice, we think about vocabulary, precise nouns, sensory words, vivid verbs that make the text more interesting. For example, the United States Capitol has a magnificent, circular, domed room or rotunda at its center. Okay, so those words that really help to create an image and make it more interesting. And thinking about creating an image, we're going to talk about the technique of sensory. Sensory words are descriptive words that make the reader see, hear, smell, taste, or feel something. So for example, the puppy's sleek orange and white coat was silky smooth and feathery soft. So those sensory words really help us as a reader to see what is happening in the story. Now I want you to get out your My Book, and I want you to pause the video and take just a second to reread pages 386 through 387 to really analyze the author's voice and the mood that he is trying to convey. When you have finished, unpause the video and join me back. Okay, so you just took a look at pages 386 through 387, and you were thinking about the author's voice and the mood that he was trying to create with his writing. So what words could you use to describe the mood or the feelings on these two pages? Okay, exactly. When we were reading these two pages, they were very exciting. Maybe a lot of energy, high energy. They were also very suspenseful. We didn't know what was going to happen next. So the author was creating the mood of kind of leaving us on the edge of our seat. So how does the author use literal language, sensory words, and sentence length to describe the action? You should also think about how this helps to create the mood. Share your thoughts with me. So I agree, the author uses action and sensory words such as booted or boomed and froze, and then the phrase at the final moment. So he uses these short sentences to describe the action that's happening. And these words, these short little phrases, really help to create excitement and a fast pace for our story. And that fast pace is part of creating that excitement and suspense. So the last question I want you to think about is, what do these pages tell about the author's tone or his feelings about this game of soccer? I agree with you. So they tell us that the author thinks that soccer is a really fun and exciting game. Otherwise, he wouldn't have used his author's craft to create such excitement and suspense. Okay, friends, so I want you to continue on with your work today for Friday. Okay, so happy working.